it's only 8:46. Look at us. All right, well, let's start with the where was the oh yeah, so we got 10x Health. So 10x Health and Legacy Employment, TRC Electronics, goes from transactional to transformational. You know, we just listened to these yesterday, but I know Gary Brecka's story. So I don't remember this guy. Oh, that's right. He got
his dad out,
story.
right?
Yeah, his story got narrated by Brandon.
Yeah.
Totally confused me the first time I heard it.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
remember Brandon having a cabinet company or whatever it was.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The theme of both of them was taking something and making it more efficient and growing their revenues by like basically buying into what they're being taught. I think that's what I took away from it the most is you have to buy in and commit before you're going to see any results. If you're undecided about something, your subconscious is going to take you there. Or if you're not a believer, you'll find a way to doubt it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, you buy the lie, right? Like the guys from last week where the it was the husband retired out of the
Yeah.
business and the wife took over with the other partners and did $1 million their first year when the husband spent 30 years, just
Yep.
having this belief that he could only do 250 and he would look
Yep.
for every excuse, right? I think, I mean, if you really pay attention to what's going on in your head, you can hear that voice come in at times and be like, you're not being realistic, right? And I think there's a point at which it's okay. Don't be realistic. Like, why should you be realistic? And I think that's something I hear a lot from Brandon, from Grant, and from some of these other people that I follow on social media. They're just like, don't be realistic. It's okay. Like, be a dreamer, right? Don't limit yourself to what's possible today because you never really know what's possible ever, right? I mean, so that little voice that starts to creep in and steal your joy, steal your dreams, like you got to get away from that thing.
Yeah.
The other theme that I think wove through both the case studies and the chapter itself really talks about understanding like what you're good at and finding people that can complement you and support you in the places that you're not as good or maybe don't shine, right? And to have that ability to see beyond like the ego and just be able to say, hey, you know what? I want somebody here that's better than me at this, right? And I think it's for us, I think this last couple of weeks has been pretty pivotal because we have recognized that there was a need somewhere in the field for us. And I think that, being able to accept that and then, our next step, right, Aaron, is to find the person that can take our place in the field. Just like finding the person that can take my place in here for estimating. And
Yep.
it's not a weakness. It's just that there's people who are better at things than me. So we should be finding those people. And, every time I go sit down with Heather in there to go through finances, I like instantly feel all of my energy sapped. So I just know like that's not where I need to be because it doesn't give me joy to be there, right? Like I'm excited to get it cleaned up and get it organized, but that's not where I want to spend 12 hours a day. Like, so I
Yeah.
think that realization and, allowing other people to come in and fill those, do what they do best, I think is, what I'm trying to say. Figure out what people are good at and then give them more of that, right? Don't ask somebody to do something that they're just not passionate about because it's going to be an uphill battle.
Yep.
So that's what I had for the week. Jared,
So
what
that,
did you have?
No, just the similar lesson that we got in Beyond Positive Thinking, mindset of abundance. If you have a mindset of scarcity, scarcity is what you're going to find. If you have a mindset of abundance, abundance is what you're going to find. So it's training your mind to believe that abundance is around you and then let that flow through you.
That's what stuck with me as well. And I liked how he said, these are my, I don't know what he called them, but my phrases that I use.
Affirmations.
Affirmations, that's it. And I noticed the difference was I choose. I choose. I'm like, I'm going to type those up and put those at work because those were really good. I like that.
And that I choose comes straight from Beyond Positive Thinking.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah.
All right.
yeah, that metaphor about the pond with a intake and an output was is pretty important. The flow that he's talking about. It's
Yeah.
You could compare it to almost anything. Like you could compare it to, for like he's kind of talking about energy in a way too. He's talking about money, putting money out there and it will come back to you. And it's so true. If you think about all the fear mongering in the news over the stock market, whenever it dips, that money's not disappearing. It's just flowing somewhere else. It goes there on every big crash, someone's winning. Like it's not being destroyed. It's the conservation of energy, uh the law of conservation of energy, right? It's the same thing. It's just moving to a different basket. I've heard market analysts talk about squeezing a balloon in your fist full of jello and a bulb popping out on this side, and then sometimes it pops out between your pinky and your ring finger, and it's just like it's moving to a different area, and that's all it is. So uh knowing that there is that flow is kind of important because it's not going away. It may be going away from you, but it's going somewhere,
It
you
went
know?
somewhere else. But it is okay for it to be going away from you if you're standing in
Right.
the flow, right? There's
Yes.
flow coming and there's flow going. That's the most productive place to be.
Well, and if you see it flowing somewhere else and you want to capture it, then you've at least identified a path of, oh, there, it's over there. We need to pivot and adjust and, switch it up a little bit and position ourselves. And that's where I think some of these, like putting yourself in a position to receive the flow is really important. And it starts with, there's a lot of small things that can be done daily to slowly position and be ready for that.
100%. I liked he talks about, deposits in the universal bank, but it also, something that really stuck out to me was the concept of taking a gift that's given to you without resistance, right? And like this is 100% completely opposite to whatever I was taught as a kid. Like, I was always like, oh, don't accept things for people. It's like, and I don't even know why. I don't know if it was because it it comes off as needy or greedy or what, but that concept that, when you do that, you're actually, you're cutting off the flow, right? You're blocking it. You now become a stopper of that flow. And it's really interesting because I've heard that, I mean, I had never heard that before Brandon, like, and it's kind of crazy when you think about, like, what is it you're trying to stop? Like, why did you choose to do that? And um it is kind of hard to break. Like, even, it's the simple who's going to pay for lunch thing, right? I mean, somebody grabs the bill and everybody's reaction is, oh, no, I'll get it, right? And it's like, just let the guy pay the bill, say thank you, right? Just say thank you. That's all you're supposed to do if somebody gives you a gift, to say thank you.
Yep.
So let's see, Davis has disappeared from view, so I bet you he's on the phone right now. He's back. I'm over here.
Oh, back. That was a phone call. Sorry.
It's all right. So what stood out to you here the most?
Because discouragement does come, believe it or not, right? It does come, and that mindset that oh man, you're not gonna make it. You need all these other things, but the concept of staying in the grind, um, getting up and doing it, no matter what that voice tells you. And I found that I gotta speak to that voice. There's abundance. I like to pray Psalms 23 over me. The that the Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want, and that calms me down a lot because, man, during the day there just seems that there is a lot of want sometimes, right? And I can't meet those needs, and you just got to be positive and keep speaking life over the company, my family, and then things come up, like out of nowhere. Like, where did this come from? How did they hear about me? And I think it's like, from hearing everyone talking this morning, being positive and speaking into speaking what you want out there, and focusing on abundance, because it has to be like a constant daily thing, right? Otherwise, you'll get overwhelmed and you want to shut down and not get up in the morning sometimes. So, anyways, that's kind of what I try to do. Like, stay at it, be positive, and grind. So,
Yeah, whenever you feel like, it's kind of a test, right? To when you get under that, I don't know if you call it resistance, or you feel the pressure, but it's kind of like, you know, are you willing to get up one more time? And as long as you're getting up one more time, then you're never gonna lose, right? May have
yeah,
some setbacks, but it's not a game ender. It might just be a game changer.
yeah. And Sean, you said something, a word that resonated with me. You said resistance, right? Because it's not, you can feel it. I mean, I can feel the resistance sometimes. Like, it's not just imaginable, it's not just in my mind. You can actually feel it. At least I can. So it's not like it's an idea, it's a tangible thing that's felt. And I think that's the most complicated thing about it, that you can actually feel the resistance. You can actually feel that. So, you know, speaking the opposite for me is it's what helps me overcome that, because sometimes you forget about it. Like, it'd be 2 days, 3 days, like, wait a minute, I'm in this mindset and I gotta jump out. So it's not easy every day because you get busy, right? And then before you know it, you're like 2 days into the thought. You're like, wait a minute, where did this come from? I gotta get out of that situation. And then yeah, so yeah, that's what I face sometimes.
Good point.
It's something.
I think I've heard Sean call that the Jello wall.
Yeah, I've heard it called the Jello wall, right? Where you run into the Jello wall and you just can't seem to get any progress. The
Yeah.
other thing that, shoot, where'd my head go? Oh, I know what it was. So recently I heard another concept, and it goes well with flow. Guy asked me, he says, are you living an upstream life, or are you living a downstream life? And when you start to hit that jello wall, or that doubt creeps in, it could feel like you're trying to paddle that boat upstream, right? And you can work as hard as you want, but that stream's going to work against you. And it can just be an indicator for you of a mindset shift, right? To think, okay, how do I turn this around and make it downstream? Like, how do I just go with the flow instead of trying to force my will upon the flow, right? And it's a really incredible balance when you put all of these things together, because nothing happens without action, right? So you have to take action. You can't just go, oh, I want this to happen, and then just sit in your chair and wait for it to happen. It doesn't work that way, right? No, you do have to, have the goal, have the vision, and then work towards it. But there may be times where your will is taking over, and those times could be when you feel that resistance, as an indicator of, hey, is this about me right now, or is it about the goal? Or do I need to make a turn and get back into the flow instead of trying to work against the flow, right? So, and it's tough, man. Every day can be a challenge like that, right? So awesome. Well, I appreciate you making it back, Davis. It's good to see you again. And we will keep this party going next week with thriving in crisis. Oh, if there's ever a time to thrive, crisis is probably the time to do it. I've noticed that the case studies looks like they're kind of following the chapters now.
Yeah.
So I think we should probably do chapter 14 and then do the case study after it, because I think it'll go together. It goes together better that way. Is that cool?
Okay. Yep.
Awesome. All right, Aaron, miss you. See you when you get back.
All right.
And Davis, we'll see you next week, if not
All right,
sooner.
buddy. Thank you.
Later,
All right,
guys.
guys.
All right, bye.